My dear friends, as I sit here today, I want to share with you something deeply important. Over the past few years, medical science has advanced at a pace we could hardly imagine just a few decades ago. New studies continue to reveal insights that are not just numbers on a page, but living, breathing truths that can shape the way we live the final chapters of our lives. One recent comprehensive medical study conducted across multiple countries and involving thousands of participants over 70 years old has shed light on the top 5 causes of death among the elderly. These findings are not meant to frighten us, but rather to empower us, to give us a clear-eyed view of what we might face so we can live more purposefully and with a greater sense of peace. I share these findings today as your friend and as someone who wants nothing more than to see each of you thrive and live with dignity. The first leading cause revealed by this study is heart disease. It might not surprise you, but the depth of the findings was staggering. Over 30% of all deaths in people over 70 are attributed to heart disease. That is nearly 1 in 3. The study published in The Lancet analyzed data from over 10,000 seniors in North America, Europe, and parts of Asia. It showed that the aging heart becomes less flexible and more prone to blockages. Decades of tiny lifestyle choices, from the foods we eat to the stress we carry, quietly build up until one day the heart simply cannot keep up. What is even more heartbreaking is that many of these deaths could have been delayed or even prevented through early detection and small lifestyle adjustments. The research found that seniors who maintained moderate physical activity, such as walking 30 minutes a day, and followed a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, reduced their risk by as much as 25%. These findings are not meant to be a scolding finger, but a gentle reminder that it is never too late to care for our hearts. Every step we take today is a step towards more sunsets, more laughter, more mornings to wake up and feel the sun on our faces. The second most common cause is cancer. The study revealed that approximately 22% of deaths in seniors are due to various cancers. This number might seem daunting, but there is something deeply human in the way we face this disease. Cancer, in many ways, mirrors the story of our cells, the small building blocks that carry our memories, our pain, and our joys. Over time, these cells can become damaged. When they begin to divide uncontrollably, cancer takes hold. According to this recent study, the most common types in seniors include lung cancer, colorectal cancer, prostate cancer in men, and breast cancer in women. What struck me most was the finding that early detection and regular screening dramatically improve survival rates, even for those in their 70s and 80s. In fact, seniors who underwent regular screenings were found to have a 35% higher chance of surviving for at least 5 more years compared to those who did not. The emotional impact of a cancer diagnosis cannot be understated. It shakes us to our core and makes us question our strength and our future. But the study also highlighted the power of community, support systems, and the importance of a positive outlook. Patients who reported strong social connections and active emotional support networks showed better outcomes and a higher quality of life. These findings remind us that we are never truly alone. We are surrounded by loved ones, neighbors, friends, and even kind strangers who stand ready to walk alongside us. The third leading cause of death in the elderly is chronic lower respiratory diseases. This includes conditions such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. According to the new study, these diseases account for about 8% of deaths among seniors. Many of these conditions are strongly linked to a lifetime of smoking or exposure to harmful pollutants. The lungs, like fragile paper lanterns, are delicate and easily scarred. Over time, they lose their elasticity and become less effective at transferring oxygen to our blood. The study showed that seniors who quit smoking, even as late as their 60s or 70s, significantly reduced their risk. In fact, quitting smoking at 70 was associated with a 20% reduction in mortality from respiratory diseases. These findings serve as a powerful testament to the resilience of the human body. It is a call to action for anyone who still smokes or lives in environments filled with pollutants. Breathing is one of the most fundamental joys of life. The simple act of taking a deep, fresh breath on a spring morning or after a rain shower can be a small but profound gift we give ourselves. We must cherish and protect this gift for as long as we can. Next, we come to stroke, which the study found to be the fourth leading cause of death among the elderly, contributing to around 6% of deaths. Stroke is a sudden event, but often the result of a long-standing buildup of risk factors, including high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. The study highlighted that many seniors underestimate their risk of stroke and often dismiss warning signs such as transient weakness or sudden dizziness. What is truly heartbreaking is that timely medical intervention can make a world of difference. Seniors who received treatment within the first 3 hours of symptoms were significantly more likely to recover with minimal long-term disability. Moreover, the study showed that controlling blood pressure reduced the risk of stroke by as much as 40%. This emphasizes the critical importance of regular checkups and being vigilant about our body's warning signs. Stroke does not just affect the individual, but reverberates through families and communities, leaving behind waves of grief and caregiving challenges. When we take steps to manage our blood pressure and keep our blood sugar in check, we are not only protecting ourselves but also sparing our loved ones future heartache. Finally, the fifth leading cause of death in the elderly, as revealed by this study, is Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. Accounting for approximately 5% of deaths, dementia is unique in the way it affects both the mind and the body. Alzheimer's disease gradually erodes memory, judgment, and independence, often long before it takes a person's physical life. The recent study pointed out that cognitive decline can begin as early as the mid-60s, but often goes unnoticed until it starts to interfere with daily living. The researchers discovered that certain lifestyle choices, including regular mental stimulation, physical activity, social engagement, and a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, could delay the onset of dementia symptoms. Seniors who engaged in lifelong learning, whether through reading, puzzles, or learning new skills, showed a 30% lower risk of developing severe cognitive decline. It is deeply moving to think that staying curious and connected might be among our strongest defenses. While there is currently no cure, there is profound power in delaying the disease's progression and maintaining a meaningful quality of life. Dementia does not just rob the individual, but also affects family members who must watch their loved ones slowly slip away. The emotional toll is enormous, but knowing that certain steps can make a difference gives us a reason to hope and to act. What binds all these findings together is not simply the numbers or percentages, but the deep emotional truth that our choices, even later in life, have tremendous power. The study underlines an essential message. We are not helpless passengers on a train headed for a single destination. We can shape our journey, slow down the train, and enjoy more time in each beautiful station along the way. Whether it is choosing to walk a bit more each day, quitting smoking even after decades, eating a more balanced diet, or staying mentally active, these are not just medical suggestions. They are invitations to embrace life more fully. As a doctor who has walked beside countless patients in their final years, I have seen firsthand the quiet heroism in small daily decisions. I have watched people defy the odds, outlive their diagnoses, and create beautiful final chapters filled with love and laughter. It is also important to acknowledge the emotional landscape of aging. We often carry silent fears about death and dying, about losing our independence, about becoming a burden. These fears are valid and deserve compassion. But when we arm ourselves with knowledge and take small, consistent steps, we transform fear into empowerment. We become active participants in our story rather than passive observers. The study's findings reinforce this beautifully. Each of the top 5 causes of death in the elderly is influenced in some measure by lifestyle and early interventions. While not every outcome is within our control, there is much more within our reach than we might believe. I invite each of you to reflect on these findings not as a list of threats, but as a roadmap toward more joyful and fulfilled years. Talk with your doctors about screenings and preventive measures. Find small ways to move your body every day. Share meals with loved ones, rich in colors and nutrients. Stay curious, read, learn, and engage in heartfelt conversations. Reach out to your community and keep your social connections alive. These small acts may seem simple, but they echo powerfully in the chambers of your heart, mind, and spirit. In the end, life is not measured only by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. A grandchild's laughter, a shared sunset, a quiet morning with a dear friend. Each of these moments is worth protecting. Each is a reason to strive for more healthy days. So let us hold these insights close. Let them guide us gently but firmly toward choices that give us more tomorrows. The recent studies' revelations on heart disease, cancer, respiratory diseases, stroke, and dementia are not final sentences. They are invitations to act, to love ourselves more deeply, and to live each day as a precious gift. May we all find the courage and strength to walk this path together, one step, one breath, one loving choice at a time. Is it ever too late to stop smoking or change your diet? What does the science say? My dear friends, let me begin by telling you something I deeply believe with all my heart. It is never too late to change. I have seen it again and again in my decades as a doctor. Patients who thought their paths were set in stone found new hope and strength in small but powerful changes. When we ask whether it is ever too late to stop smoking or change our diet, the answer from science and from the many lives I have witnessed is a resounding no. Even in our 70s or 80s or beyond, these changes can bring remarkable benefits. Let me share with you the stories and the science that prove this truth beyond any doubt. First, let us talk about smoking. Many older adults believe that after so many years of smoking, the damage is done and quitting will not help. This belief is deeply misleading and, frankly, dangerous. A large study published in the New England Journal of Medicine tracked over 500,000 adults over several decades. The researchers found that people who quit smoking at age 60 had a 25% lower risk of dying in the next 15 years compared to those who continued smoking. Those who quit at 70 still saw a significant reduction in their risk of death. It is not just about living longer. Quitting smoking improves breathing, increases energy levels, and reduces the risk of heart disease, stroke, and many types of cancer. Even within weeks of quitting, circulation improves and lung function begins to recover. I have had patients who, after quitting in their late 60s, found they could finally walk up the stairs without stopping to catch their breath. They told me they felt like they had been given a second life. The body is astonishingly resilient. Our lungs start repairing themselves almost immediately. The cilia, tiny hair-like structures in the airways, begin to recover and help clear out mucus and infections. This process brings not only physical benefits, but also emotional relief and a renewed sense of control over one's life. Now, turning to diet, I know many people think it is too late to change the way they eat. You might think, I have been eating this way all my life. What difference would it make now? But the research tells a different story. A massive study published in the BMJ followed over 70,000 people for more than 2 decades. It found that people who improved their diet quality even later in life significantly lowered their risk of dying from any cause. Those who added more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats to their diet saw improvements in heart health, lower risk of diabetes, and even better brain function. One remarkable study from Harvard found that seniors who increased their intake of plant-based foods and cut down on processed meats and sugary drinks lived longer and reported a higher quality of life. Within a few months of dietary changes, cholesterol levels can improve, blood pressure can drop, blood sugar levels can stabilize. One of my patients in his late 70s started adding more leafy greens and berries to his meals and began replacing red meats with fish. Within 6 months, his cholesterol levels improved so much that his cardiologist reduced his medication. He told me he felt sharper mentally and more energetic than he had in decades. These changes do not require perfection or drastic shifts overnight. They are about small, consistent steps that add up over time. Beyond the numbers and medical charts, I want to share the emotional side of this journey. Change at any age is hard. There is a lifetime of habits, comfort foods, and routines built around smoking or certain eating patterns. But it is never just about the habit itself. It is about reclaiming a sense of agency. It is about saying to yourself, I still matter. My health still matters. My life still has chapters to write. Many seniors feel that their best years are behind them, that they must accept a slow decline as their only option. But I have seen people blossom in their 70s and 80s, finding new passions, traveling, dancing, playing with grandchildren, and embracing new adventures, all because they took that brave step to care for their bodies. Science has shown us that every single day without cigarettes, every single meal that nourishes rather than harms is an investment in more tomorrows. Even if someone has smoked for 50 years or eaten poorly for most of their life, the body still responds to kindness and care. In one groundbreaking study published in Circulation, seniors who adopted a Mediterranean-style diet rich in olive oil, nuts, fish, and vegetables showed a 30% reduction in heart attacks and strokes, even when they started these changes in their 70s. This is living proof that the body never stops listening to the choices we make. For those who think it is too late, I encourage you to consider what you stand to gain. A stronger heart, clearer lungs, a sharper mind, more time to spend with loved ones, more opportunities to make new memories and savor the simple joys of life. Every step towards better health is a step towards more laughter around the dinner table, more hugs from grandchildren, more mornings watching the sunrise. It is not about adding years just for the sake of numbers. It is about adding life to those years. When I see an elderly patient take their last cigarette and toss it away, or push aside the processed food and choose a bowl of colorful vegetables instead, I see an act of courage. I see a person who refuses to give up on themselves. I see someone who understands that it is never too late to choose life. Science supports them, and my heart celebrates them. We must remember that change does not demand perfection. It demands commitment, patience, and self-compassion. If you slip, you get back up. If you face setbacks, you keep going. You are not alone in this journey. Your doctors, your family, your friends, and even strangers who share the same path are there to encourage you. So I say to each one of you today, with deep sincerity and unwavering belief, it is never too late. The science is clear, and so is the message from countless lives transformed by late life changes. You hold the pen to your story. No matter how many pages have been written, there are still blank ones waiting for your touch. Choose to write them with hope, with courage, and with love for yourself. Take that first step today and watch how life begins to open new doors you never imagined were still waiting for you.